While the world rushes headfirst into an electric future, one voice just slammed the brakes. And it's not some random YouTube mechanic, it's the CEO of Honda. In a quiet but seismic leak, Honda's top executive just revealed something that could flip the entire EV industry on its head. We're talking about a brand new engine, one that blends clean performance with unmatched affordability and real-world convenience. And if what we've heard is even halfway true, Tesla and every EV giant should be paying close attention. So, what exactly is this engine? Why is it so dangerous to the EV boom? Inside Honda's revolutionary engine technology, what's so special? The thing is, when most people hear the words hybrid engine, their minds go straight to the old-school Prius. Quiet, efficient, boring. But what Honda's CEO just leaked isn't anything like that. This isn't your neighbor's mild-mannered hybrid. What we're looking at here might just be the most ambitious counterpunch the EV industry has faced in the past 20 years. So, what's so special about this new engine? Why are some insiders already calling it a potential EV killer? To answer that, we need to step inside the hood, because the real story isn't just about fuel, it's about freedom. Honda's new hybrid engine tech doesn't rely on the same heavy, expensive battery banks that keep electric vehicle prices high and charging times long. Instead, they've doubled down on an ultra-efficient internal combustion engine, turbocharged, meticulously refined, and paired it with a next-generation electric motor system that works with it, not against it. This isn't a halfway point between gas and electric. It's something more like a best-of-both-worlds system, without the compromises that make many hybrids feel like an awkward middle ground. Now here's the part that really makes this leak matter. Honda isn't chasing gimmicks or luxury headlines, they're aiming directly at the global market, especially the fast-growing economies where reliable electricity isn't guaranteed and charging infrastructure barely exists. Think Southeast Asia, Africa, and South America. In those regions, a fully electric car isn't just impractical, it's often impossible, but a vehicle powered by this engine, that's a game changer. Let's talk numbers for a second. This new hybrid setup delivers a fuel economy that rivals full electric vehicles, without any of the range anxiety. Some of the early estimates suggest over 50 miles per gallon under real-world driving conditions. At the same time, emissions are being slashed to levels nearly on par with fully electric cars, thanks to Honda's low-temperature combustion and electric motor assist during urban driving. The gasoline engine only kicks in when it's actually needed, and when it does, it's powerful. And don't mistake this for some underpowered commuter car. Honda's engineers have been obsessing over balance, torque, acceleration, and even the driving feel. The result is a powertrain that's sporty when you want it to be and calm when you need it. A lot of this is thanks to how the engine and motor communicate in real time, distributing power with precision instead of relying on a fixed pattern. But that's just the performance side. What's really shocking, and what has EV manufacturers sweating, is the cost. Because Honda has spent decades refining internal combustion technology, it's already built the factories, trained the workers, and sourced the materials. Scaling this hybrid system globally doesn't require rare metals from fragile supply chains or entirely new infrastructure. It can be rolled out now, at prices far below even the cheapest EVs. So, if you're someone in your 20s or 30s, working hard, maybe saving for your first car, and you're stuck between overpriced EVs and outdated gas guzzlers, this engine changes everything. Suddenly, eco-friendly and affordable don't have to live in different worlds. And you don't need to worry if your local grid goes down or if the fast charger at the corner station is offline again. Honda's CEO didn't just drop specs. This leak was deliberate. It's a signal, a flex. He wanted the world to know that while the rest of the auto industry was busy playing battery games and chasing headlines, Honda was building something quiet, steady, and honestly, kind of unstoppable in the background, something that speaks more to the real world than to Silicon Valley showrooms. And look, this tech isn't just good for the environment, it's built to last. We're talking about engines that can take a beating, run on lower-octane fuel, survive bumpy roads, and still deliver high efficiency. It's green, yes, but it's also tough. And in a world where climate consciousness and practical utility rarely meet, that's an incredibly rare balance. So, here's the big question. If you had the chance to choose between a sleek, silent EV that costs a small fortune and locks you into a fragile charging grid, or a rugged, affordable hybrid that performs just as cleanly without all the baggage, what would you choose? Because, for millions of people, worldwide, that's no longer a hypothetical. It's becoming a real, tangible choice. And if this engine scales the way Honda plans, it won't just change what people drive, it'll completely shift who gets to participate in the green revolution. No more gatekeeping clean transportation behind luxury brands and $40,000 price tags. This is the democratization of clean driving. And that's why the EV industry should be very, very worried. Now, if this tech is as revolutionary as it sounds, then there has to be a bigger strategy behind it, right? This can't just be about building a better engine. So, what's Honda really planning? What's their long game? When Honda's CEO stood before reporters and quietly unveiled plans for a new generation of hybrid technology, the industry didn't laugh. They listened. Because this wasn't a fringe idea or a throwback to the early 2000s, this was a clear, calculated move against what some have called the EV monopoly, a kind of electric lockdown where your only green choice is a car tied to the grid, packed with lithium, and priced like a luxury item. But Honda, they're playing a very different game. Let's go back to the company's official press event in May 2025. The headline was about hybrid engines, yes, but what was buried just beneath the surface was far more revealing. Honda's president and CEO, Toshihiro Maibe, made it clear, the future isn't binary. It's not EVs or combustion, it's about options. It's about building a flexible, resilient transport system that works globally, not just in wealthy cities with charger access on every corner. And that's the key word here, globally. Because while a Tesla might fit perfectly on the streets of Los Angeles or Munich, it's still a fantasy in rural India, West Africa, or parts of Southeast Asia. But a hybrid that can deliver over 50 miles per gallon, costs less than a basic EV, and runs reliably without chargers. That's revolutionary. Maibe didn't say it with drama, but the implications were massive. He explained that Honda's next phase won't be a sudden U-turn, it'll be a careful, layered rollout. First, the new hybrid engines will appear in high-efficiency premium cars, models that test the market, refine the tech, and show off just how far hybrids have evolved. After that, the company plans to trickle the technology down into compact cars, family vehicles, scooters, and even three-wheeler taxis in developing regions. And that's smart, because you can't force a new ecosystem overnight. You have to meet people where they are, give them something practical, something durable, something they already understand, and then build upward from there. Now here's where things get really interesting, the economics of it. Unlike pure electric vehicles that rely on expensive battery packs, rare earth minerals, and vulnerable supply chains, Honda's system is built on years, actually decades, of combustion engine expertise. Their hybrid platform doesn't need a total reinvention of the manufacturing wheel, which means production costs stay low, repairs stay manageable, and supply chains stay stable. And this opens the door to something else, government support. Because while EVs get the headlines, not every country is on board with a full electric transition. Grid infrastructure, fuel access, public transport needs, it's complicated. But a cleaner combustion hybrid? That's a safer bet. Governments looking to reduce carbon emissions without overhauling entire cities could very likely see Honda's system as the perfect middle path. That means potential subsidies, tax incentives, and faster adoption, all without waiting for battery prices to drop. It's a hybrid renaissance, and the script has flipped. Honda's CEO didn't say electric vehicles were going away. In fact, he openly supports them, but he also believes combustion tech can, and should, coexist well into the 2040s, not as a relic, but as a smart, sustainable choice for millions who are being left behind in the EV conversation. Think about it. What if the so-called end of the gas engine wasn't a hard deadline, but, actually a myth? What if instead of a clean switch, the world's transition is meant to be gradual, blended, and deeply local? That's what Honda's betting on. And if it works, this strategy won't just change car lineups, it could honestly reshape energy policy itself. Governments may begin shifting focus from only charging networks to a more nuanced support system, encouraging both electric and ultra-efficient hybrids. Consumers may finally have a realistic option that doesn't ask them to choose between saving money, saving time, or saving the planet. This isn't just a tech war, it's a battle for what the future of mobility really looks like. And now, with Honda's CEO leaking the company's biggest engine breakthrough in decades, the gloves are officially off. But how are the EV giants reacting to this unexpected challenge? Are they brushing it off, or scrambling behind the scenes? Tesla, BYD, Rivian, and even legacy giants like Ford and VW have all been laser-focused on one path forward, electric all the way. But suddenly, from the shadows of Japan, something else has entered the conversation. And it didn't come from a random TikTok mechanic, or a whisper on Reddit. No. This came straight from the top. Honda's own CEO just let